Fixez.com bringing you a repair video on an LG G2. In today's video, we're going to show you the steps necessary to remove and replace your G2's dock port. Before we get started with our disassemble, let's review our suggested tools. Small Phillips screwdriver, plastic opening tools, a spudger, fine-tipped curved tweezers, precision knife set. Let's begin our entry into the G2 by removing the rear cover first. You'll notice our G2 has a very tight seam around the perimeter holding that rear cover on. You can attack that rear cover either with a plastic opening tool, possibly your fingernail. We found that utilizing a razor blade or an X-Acto knife to begin the unlocking of the first clip causes the least amount of damage. Once we unlock that first clip, we continued around with our plastic opening tool until the rear cover is completely removed from the G2. With our rear cover removed, we can now work towards removing the loudspeaker. Let's start by removing the 5 Phillips screws that are securing the loudspeaker into the body of the phone. And with our screws removed, our loudspeaker is free to lift for removal. Next in line, we're going to work towards removing our dock port from our G2. We've got 7 Phillips screws securing the plastic protective cover over our motherboard. Let's go ahead and remove those screws, starting with the one and only black Phillips screw. With our single black and our 6 silver Phillips screws removed, we can now go ahead and pry off the plastic protective cover, revealing our motherboard. Down here near the headphone jack is a microphone that's surrounded by a rubber grommet that is seated in its housing. Let's pry up on this rubber grommet to release it out of its housing so we don't cause damage to the microphone when we remove the dock port. Next, we've got a series of connections in and around the power and volume buttons. Let's start with this one on the side. And then we've got the actual connector for the power and volume buttons. Here we have one of our display assembly connections. And then here is our other side connection. At this point, we're going to utilize a spudger, and we're going to do quite a bit of prying. On either side of the power and volume buttons, we're going to pry these 2 connections up. And you're going to continue your prying down each side, gently peeling up the connections as you go all the way down to the dock port. And now we can finally work on gently prying up on the dock port itself, removing it from the securing adhesive until it's released from the G2. All of the parts and tools you've seen today in this video are available at www.fixez.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, like us on Facebook, and follow us on Twitter.